Well, hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Access Harleywood. Today, we have a couple of really awesome guests, and we're going to start off a little bit different than normal since we have a little bit of car trouble getting here for Rob Holland. We will start directly with our guest, Stephen Sadler. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Oh, for sure. We met about 6 months probably ago now.
Yeah, I think right before the beginning of the summer, right?
Yeah.
And then we had a lot of fun during.
Had a lot of fun, concerts and all kinds of jazz. Definitely had a blast. But I've been so inspired and tried to keep up on everything happening with you. You have a lot of sticks in the fire, so to speak. So I would love to get caught up. And I think Rob is here, so let's bring in Rob.
I'm good.
There we go. Here's Rob. So I'm going to wait till he gets a headset on so that we can officially cover where we're at with this.
Number 4.
Now I can.
Number 4? Hello?
Yes, indeed. Here we go. So, Stephen, why don't you get us caught up on a couple of the things that you have going on?
Well,
Try it again.
now? Yeah, there
Yep.
we go.
There we
Okay, good. Yeah, I thought if I can't hear it in my headphones, it's not on. So, no, as the last time that we talked, I mean, I was in the process of launching a new piece of technology.
Mm-hmm.
That technology is in the beta phase right now. And we're supposed to be launching it 2020. So kind of a cool.
Love the date.
I love the date. Yeah.
Everybody, now you have that burnt into your head. There's no way you're going to forget it.
Yeah, January 2020. But it's been a long time coming. It's based off a bunch of pieces of technology that I built over the years.
And who did you originally build those for?
Originally, some of the technology was built actually to market many movies. We did about 50 movies for Disney, 10 movies for DreamWorks. We did Limitless for Relativity Media.
Mm-hmm.
And it was used to do...
They did all right, too.
They did, yeah. We had a pretty good track record with that. And believe it or not, Disney really did not do a very good job at digital marketing prior to me running into them back in around 2011. And you think, how can Disney not know that? But it wasn't just Disney. A lot of the companies did not understand tech. They did not understand how distribution was going to change so drastically.
So fast.
And get into digital. And it just so happens that I was at the right right place at the right time with the right people.
Yeah.
And so anyways, we used the one piece of technology called Buzz FM, which was the FM, not standing for frequency modulation, but frequency marketing. And we actually applied for patents with that, and we were doing some e-learning stuff at the same time, which we also got patents on. And then over the last 5 or 6 years, with the change and everything that's happening, we actually took a lot of those ideas and we kind of condensed them and really came up with a simplified workflow. And now with the rise of influencer marketing being so big, this system is absolutely amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's intensified digital is what it's called right now. It might end up being intensified social. We're kind of going back and forth with the name, so that's not totally solid yet, but it will be obviously by 2020.
Yeah.
And but it's going to be a very interesting system for managing social and digital. But it also is going to be a marketplace for influencers to be able to, help, move products, services, movies, you name it.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it's really inspiring just listening to this because, I feel like I didn't know anywhere near enough about this. I'm a hustler, so when it comes to our trailers and everything else, people are like, "How'd you get so many views?" We had anywhere from 50 to 300,000, and that's nothing compared to the big boys and what they're doing, and to figure out these systems and the algorithms and everything else that plays into this. And having systems in place for it's going to be really exciting, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And I definitely want you to help be one of the pilots as we roll this thing out too. I mean, obviously you guys are doing some great stuff, all out of Orion here, which is amazing, right?
That is wild, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
We're neighbors almost.
And we're neighbors. And I've been in this
And
area.
both love Thai food. So
Yeah, I've been in this area for 20 years because I moved from Canada. But it's kind of like everything is developing around me now, and it's like I don't have to go, fly to Hollywood anymore. I mean,
Yeah.
it's starting to happen around here. And you obviously know my daughters and that.
Yeah.
They're into entertainment too, so it's just kind of building around me, which is great.
yeah, his daughter. It looks. I feel like I every time I see her, I feel like it's a little bit of classic Hollywood beauty. And she has that not Cinderella, Alice in Wonderland factor about her, which I really, really dig. And she owns that in like every picture. It's so cool.
Yeah, it was funny because she started acting when she was very young. Actually, both my daughters did in the church, just at GCC down the road on Baldwin, and then we got them, acting in plays at Pontiac Theater 4 and the Starlight Theater, and she actually Alice actually got the lead role as Beauty and the Beast. And then after that, she started doing the Disney princess things. And so she was kind of making money when she was in high school doing that. And I think that that solidified that love. But she just loves cosplay, loves dressing up. I mean, now she's got Lori.
Both her
Lori
and
and
I
I
are so
doing it.
good. Yeah, you got Anybody's
Getting in the cosplay?
anybody's seen?
Oh, it's crazy.
Seen
It's
him?
out of control.
I mean, that's no joke. Your outfits are no joke. She helps you.
Oh,
you got to admit it.
You're right. I mean, yes, she does. The Skeletor one costume that we wore to Comic-Con.
Yeah.
I did see that one, yes.
That was all her. I mean,
it was amazing.
except I had to work out.
Yes.
She says, like, if you're gonna wear this, you're gonna have to work out. I'm like, well, I'm not putting a muscle suit on, so okay, so we'll work out for it a bit.
Not
That's
going
awesome.
the con route.
Right.
Star
Yeah.
Trek.
Right.
So yeah, really exciting about everything with the social networking piece. But I also know you have something else that I have been dipping my fingers in. That's really exciting as well, and that's the folk tellers.
Yeah. So folk tellers. I'm trying to remember what year it was. Probably around 2017. I was coming back from Los Angeles, and I was trying to figure out how to scale up Buzz FM at the time. So instead of just doing digital marketing one-offs, how could I get my hands into something that's scalable, larger? And a friend of mine, Terry Bean, invited me over to a meeting. It was kind of an investors meeting in Royal Oak, and that's where I met Joseph Bastian. And Joseph and his partner Carl kind of put on this little presentation, and they showed what they had created, and it's like a universe. I mean, it is a universe, right?
Absolutely.
And I was very intrigued. I'm like, this is kind of like meeting, George Lucas. And I'm not going to say it's at that level, but it's kind of like meeting him at the very beginning.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, I saw it. I'm like, wow, at that time he had 8 books written. Now he's got 13 written. The guy's an animal. He doesn't stop. He gets up every single morning.
He's so excited. Like, how long ago did you meet him? Because I met him this summer.
2017.
and it still felt like it just happened when you talked to him.
Right. And he's been writing for a long time.
Yeah.
20 years. I mean, he actually wrote manuals for General Motors and Ford for many years. So he was a technical manual writer. So that's where, but he was also classically trained. He did a year at Oxford University as well on a kind of a what do you call that? Well, you trade.
Yeah. Like an exchange.
Exchange, yeah. So, but yeah, he's absolutely brilliant, and he just keeps writing more and more stuff. So anyways, I was watching the presentation. I got pulled into it, and I started marketing his first book that he wanted to release. That went really well. He sold like 10,000 copies, which is unheard of for selling a book.
Yeah.
I mean, most authors only sell a couple hundred bucks. Let's face it. And so, so we created a plan, and I took him out to Hollywood. And one of my business partners is Frank Zappa's, one of Frank Zappa's kids, Matt Zappa.
Yeah.
That you met.
Yes.
when
He
I
came
went
to the
Hollywood.
premiere. That was awesome. Yeah. So much fun.
Who is a great person.
Yeah.
And so I wanted him to, because he's directed, or not directed, but produced movies. He's been around it ever since he was a little kid.
Yeah.
He understands that, that arena very well. And he's also the one that helped walk me into Disney to do all the movies and Relativity and DreamWorks. And so, so anyways, we brought him as a folk teller, and now we're trying to take that series And first of all, we had to try and get a publisher for it
Yeah.
because if you don't have a publisher, it's kind of one of those check boxes that's not checked.
Yeah.
You know, so there's a definite process that you have to take it through. I mean, yeah, you could probably have turned it into a movie like really easily, but he doesn't want to just turn it into a movie. He wants it to be a bigger
Yeah.
franchise. He's got, you know, and I think it can be because of the way that it's written, and or it could even be a series.
Also, the who it caters to, I think, is so cool because in this age, I don't know how it works, but I feel like we're forgetting about those tweener teens
Right.
a lot.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we get such huge things with Lord of the Rings and with you know, Harry Potter, and they blow up because they finally come something that is centered around that specific group.
Yep.
And even Stranger Things, even though that's not the same, it's not the same exact genre because you have pretty good horror in that one. But when you focus there, that's in our life. That's kind of like the dreamiest phase, and where you're figuring yourself out. And you know, all of us watched, you know, some of Star Wars or something right around that time, and it just stole us. And that's what I think I love about what I've read so far is that it is right there, and it is really well crafted as well.
Is it a series of books or is it a?
Yeah, it's a series of book. It's called the Excerpts of an Unknown Guidebook series.
Okay.
So the first 8 books, that's what that's called. Then he has a second series that really has the same characters, but in essence, it's 4 characters that are probably in the neighborhood of 13 to 15 years of age.
Okay.
But it's written at a grade 5 level, so it's kind of a coming of age story.
Okay.
Right. A lot of archetypes,
It's
that
like
type of
it's
thing.
like Goosebumps, but much better.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean,
Definitely.
is that fair?
Yeah, it's like Goosebumps, but there's a lot more
Scooby Doo
series to it.
Goosebumps,
Yeah,
but better.
yeah. That's why I say it's archetype,
yeah.
because I mean, if you fit that archetype, your stories will take off. If you try
Yeah.
to do something kind of out of the box and doesn't fit that, and especially in that genre, it usually doesn't work for you.
Yeah.
But I think he's hitting it very right in stride. So, plus he's a great guy.
It's 8 books in the first series, and you said it
It's
then
going to be
goes in-
8. It's going to be actually it's 7 books plus a compendium.
Okay.
And so the compendium actually goes through all the different characters that are in the series, and you know, kind of like what Harry Potter does, like all the different types of
Right.
you know, goblins and that type of stuff that are through the movies, right? And he's got them all categorized already,
okay.
which is super cool.
So is he looking more? You're stating you're looking at a movie but wanting something more. So is it more of like a series-based situation he'd prefer that you guys are looking to try and market that for?
I don't think he would mind whether it would be a movie or whether it would be a TV Netflix type series. I
Right.
mean, it's one or the other.
I think
We're
it could
kinda
almost
just-
be both.
Right.
Because if
Just-
you're looking right now at all these the Marvel characters, they have their TV series,
Yep.
and then they have their Netflix series,
Movie.
and then they have their movies. I mean, they're at comics everywhere, and I think this fits the same way,
Yeah.
and can be and has their own universe.
Yeah, and that brings me back to one of the things that we've been kind of introduced to, and that's transmedia. Like what is anything anymore, right?
Yeah.
It's all transmedia because it's transmedia storytelling. So it's whether you're telling stories through music or whether you're telling them through a TV show or a movie or whatever, you know, it's all transmedia now.
Yeah.
And because of digital, and that's really the transition that's happened, you know, just over the last, 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
So, which is fascinating.
Yeah, and talking about that, since you've been involved, you know of the two mishaps with Disney trying to launch their own platform. It doesn't look like they're failing this time.
No. And matter of fact, the Disney Anywhere, which one of the original ones, we helped market that one, and we were pushing it very, very hard for them, and it's just it just wasn't set up. The technology wasn't set up right. Now it is. I mean, yeah, there's bugs, but there's bugs
Yeah.
with every system. But I think by first of all the brands that they're bringing together, because it's not just
Oh, it's
Disney. Right?
powerful.
There's so much stuff in there.
The
And then-
monopoly now.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
monopoly. And then
almost.
pulling kind of out of Netflix, I mean, Netflix has got to be worried. They really do.
I
Yeah.
was talking earlier, and I feel like Netflix is starting to fall to like the blockbuster syndrome, where I feel
Yeah.
like it's gotten so big that people are looking at
They just assume that we're
Disney
going to
the
keep
next best
doing.
thing now, and it's almost I don't know what happened. I mean,
Yeah.
Netflix's content's still great, but it's almost like
Yeah.
The attitude has turned to start finding the next thing.
Well, it's a little bit like I'm one of them people. I add HBO for 3 months to watch the Game of Thrones series and
Just binge through it.
watch Men maybe, and then it's like I'm gone again.
I do the same thing.
And Netflix is close to becoming that for me, which I think they don't even get it yet, which is scary that they are sitting there, because not only do we have Disney coming, but we also have AMC.
Yeah.
That's a powerful brand as well. And on top of that, there are now a slew of independent one. There's Indie Stream and this and that. There's so many smaller ones that are getting out there, and they obviously getting a lot of lower end indie content and they pull a lot of the stuff that's no longer.
There's Tubi, Pluto TV.
Yeah.
I love Pluto TV, the live stream. And
Apple TV.
Yeah, Apple TV.
So
also,
I just signed up for that. It's probably going to be a short period of time. That's to watch the morning show.
Yeah.
Which I actually really like. I like.
So who's going to survive this mess? Do we? I mean, I think this time around. I mean, I just got a free 1-year subscription to Disney through Verizon.
Oh, you got Verizon.
And then after that, it's $7 a month, and Netflix just
Up their price.
Yeah. So
Although
they're
if you're on
twice.
T-Mobile, Netflix comes with it.
Well,
So
I can see things happening just like anything. There's going to be bundles.
Yeah.
It's like you get a bundle of this and a
Yes.
bundle of
So
that.
it'll
Then-
be like cable
Right,
again.
Exactly.
We did all that
Yeah,
to get right back to where
to,
we
to
were.
save money. Yeah, I mean, Hulu,
Yeah.
YouTube TV just raised their prices, so it's becoming the same
Exactly.
price as cable.
Exactly. What goes around
It's
goes
funny.
around.
Yeah.
It's the way it is.
It's going to be a battle of. It's going to be original content. It's going to have to be the decider. That's my concern right now with Disney Plus. Is the nostalgia is great, but I can, I've watched Willow. I don't know that I'll watch it again.
Yeah.
We're running through these movies, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Mandalorian's fantastic, but I think they really need to push some content, because I can see
Yeah.
myself in another month going to the Netflix original content, because
Yeah.
there's so much on there. Ozark.
Well, I think the some of the stuff that Netflix has done well is the adult audience, especially the action, thriller, horror.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, and now the documentaries too. They're pouring on
Yes.
documentaries. I probably wish that they would have screened them a little bit better, because I've watched some of them and I'm like, that's not right. It's not even true. Can we fact check this? But yeah, but they've figured out a good niche, and I've said this before. I think what we haven't done yet well is live concerts on any of these, because the stand-up comedy has been cornered by Netflix.
Yes.
I mean, they have all the best, and Eddie Murphy's signed a deal with them now
Martin
too.
Lawrence, I believe.
So it's crazy. These cats are going to be doing this. So Netflix they're not going to go away, and their $10 million Netflix original feature films, they're all pretty good. So I think that they're going to survive. I think there's going to be other casualties, and we've seen it already with a lot of the big networks, the Showtimes and Cinemax, and I think HBO is the only one that's alive, and I think they're on life support. I mean, I don't have any statistical
There's,
knowledge,
HBO
but
Max coming. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah,
I think you touched on something that I would love to see more of, is the live concerts, the live musical music programming of
'Cause we
finding new
have the-
bands and artists. There's so many good
we have
artists
the
out there.
TVs to actually have a concert or house a little bit now.
Sure.
We talked about that when we went this summer. The outdoor concerts, you will never be able to take me out of those. The Pine Knob, I show
I don't
my
know the
age here,
parking.
Pine Knob. Yeah, right. Nobody, but
there's no
that,
tailgating.
that experience is amazing.
Yeah.
But I don't like squeezing into Fox for that. I
Right.
don't like squeezing into concert venues. I like the outdoors thing for that. And if they launched a good, I think I would sign up for that. I think that would steal me away from something, because you can't get that. And there's tons of musical acts right now that would love to do something to make money because of all the piracy and the thefts.
There's one channel, that MTV Live, that used to be
Yeah.
Palladium, which there's Jules Holland, which is an amazing show where all the bands just come, and I don't know if you've ever seen, and it's literally like 6 bands in one room, and he just bounces back and forth, and each one performs. And I'd love to see more content like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you know what Ahmed is doing?
What is he doing? The hologram.
The holograms.
I know you were telling me tell the audience, because this is fascinating, and we should definitely touch on that.
So it's called Eye Illusion, and in essence, he's resurrecting his father back into touring. And so they have a rig set up that has a holograph of Frank singing and performing. That, like, say you're listening to the Dental Floss, he'll turn into Dental Floss, and then he appears again singing. I mean, it's absolutely, it's bizarre. It's the bizarre, world of Frank
and it's
Zappa. But it's cool because it has also a full, all the musicians and orchestra around it to play.
Mm-hmm.
So you really could do it with any artist that's actually passed away. And the technology is getting so good now, you really can't tell the difference now.
Yeah.
As long as it's placed in the right spot on the stage, I mean, you really could. And going back to what you're saying, you could create shows like that all day long and broadcast those out. I mean, that would be absolutely, amazing.
Yeah, they've tested that, with Tupac Shakur, I think was like the first test with it. And then they did the Michael Jackson at
which was
Grammys, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super Bowl, I think. Was it a Super Bowl?
I thought his was at
maybe.
the award show.
Maybe.
The hologram. And
Yeah.
some of it, I mean, it's live. His was live capture. I believe there was someone off stage doing the dancing, and that's how they captured the movement. So there was somebody performing, but some of the shots, it's pretty wicked to look at.
It's really funny that we got in here this way, because what I had planned for us to chat about before we got in is, did you see that James Dean is going to star in a movie?
No.
Yeah. I mean, Princess Leia was the first time we really, really went there, right?
Grandma Tarkin. Yeah.
And now they're gonna bring back Marilyn Monroe, and they're gonna I don't know. I understand in Ahmet's case, this is dad.
Yeah.
He has the right to do that, but some of this stuff is eventually going to be people that have no connection to the actual person will be making the decisions to whether or not to put them in a film that may be something that they would turn in their grave for.
Well, it would have to be someone that has authority for the estate.
Yeah.
And a lot of them obviously have estates that you'd have to go through for licensing issues and stuff like that. But I
don't know how I
definitely can
feel
see
about
it.
that James Dean thing. It's just hard on me, because it's not like with the music. This is what he did.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling that he'd probably love rocking it in his grave. But when you're talking making a movie, you're talking about him saying things he never said, doing things he never did, and never agreed to. It's a little trickier.
Yeah, it's one thing if it's Star Wars and you're continuing the character that has already been portrayed, and you continue the character, not necessarily the person.
Yeah.
Right.
That is
It's
interesting
sticky, isn't
dynamic. It's getting scary to whereas you're looking at the film transition. Are we just going to end up becoming? Are we going to start hiring programmers instead of actors?
We already are.
Yeah.
Right.
Have you seen ZBrush?
No.
Look at that. Look up that software.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I know TJ Storm is a good friend of mine, and he does the motion capture, which is unbelievable. He plays Godzilla. He plays pretty much all the characters in Guardians of the Galaxy and all the ones in Deadpool and all that stuff. All the video games where you see these creatures, he's most of them.
Right.
I mean, he's incredibly talented at it, and it's a wild thing to think about how much is done.
Oh yeah, if you look up a deep fake on like YouTube, how they're swapping out, they're putting Sylvester Stallone in Terminator 2 in the scenes, and Bill Hader, they have his face transformed to multiple different people as he's impersonating them. And I think the latest one was Jim Carrey in The Shining. And, they replaced Jack Nicholson with Jim Carrey.
Right.
And you swear it's them. I mean, the technology is there.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when they were talking about it, they did Obama, and they had somebody just fake being him in an interview, and it was like, what?
Yeah.
That looked too good.
Yeah.
I'm not comfortable with that.
That gets into the whole fake news realm.
Oh, God. Oh, my God, fake news. At this point, I almost don't even care if it's fake or real anymore, because I watched a little bit of these depositions, and it's like I just want to claw my eyes out of my face. It's just too much.
Yeah.
Too much, guys.
13 hours a day.
Yeah. And then you wonder why we're so divided. It's like there's somebody with an axe actively chopping at that divide every day. And we don't even need Russia anymore. We got this now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have learned how to divide.
I just like
Yeah.
going between the websites and looking at the headlines and how different
Oh
they are.
yeah, same exact thing, completely different
Yeah.
spin.
2 different countries
Yeah, it is.
with one flag.
Yeah,
So kinda-
and it seems like the closer you're to the water, the more liberal they get.
yeah.
So, and then in the middle of the country, it seems like not so much. And we're right by the water, but it's not ocean water, so we're kind of like split.
Yeah, we have split personalities. Maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah, probably, because you could probably still have some reasonable conversations.
Yeah.
Which
I mean, if you look at, well, you're on my Facebook. I mean, you see my
Yeah.
Facebook. I have probably a quarter of them are Brits, and then the other quarters, or half of that, I should say. Probably a third of them is Brits, and a third of them is Canadian. The other third's American. And it's so interesting to see the posts from all the different,
point of views.
Yeah. And but we're all the same. I mean, we really are.
Yeah, I think we got to remember that, though. I think because
Yeah.
most people forget that we all pull our pants on the same way.
Mm-hmm.
We all got to pay our bills. We all
Yeah.
it's all the same. It's just how we go about it.
Yeah.
And the thought patterns are different. I remember I had that conversation. A couple of friends, and I'm kind of interesting being from Sweden and having some fairly liberal views on certain things because I love what we've done with healthcare and school and youth development and all that stuff is so good in Sweden. But there's a lot of stuff that's just crazy. You can really just surf the system if you want to. And that's also insane because it creates a breed of mediocrity being good enough that drives me crazy. Because I'm the guy who can't stop doing things. Like I'm and I go crazy. I'm like you. I climb walls if I can't do anything. So it's really odd for me to be in that situation where you have such a divide with this.
Yeah, I wish we could just do away with the party recognition because I've been a year now where I have not posted anything political on my Facebook because you just get tired of that. Not that I'm not interested or I'm involved. I am very involved, but I just don't think we're not going to change the world by one Facebook post at a time. But anybody that answers the question and before hearing the question, that's where my frustration stems from. Can we start looking at people for who they are and then voting based on that, not because of the letter that's before their name.
Yeah.
I just posted something on LinkedIn yesterday. I said, I want to know who the person is that define what's conservative and what's liberal.
That's good. That's deep.
Who was it? Who said that this line defines who you are? Because being an entrepreneur, there's things that I believe on the left, there's things I believe on the right.
I'm the
And I
same
do
way.
not
And do
believe
you
things
know how
on both
unique we are for that? Because I see
Obviously very.
I see everything as agenda driven. Where I wonder if anyone just pauses to think.
Right.
Like it's all emotional reactions.
It's all
And this
or
is what
nothing.
we teach our kids not to do.
Right.
I mean, in all honesty, this is exactly what we teach our kids not to do. And we as adults can't stop emotional reacting.
Right.
It gets us. I don't know anyone who's gotten converted by a Facebook post.
No.
So since nobody's
that's
gotten
why you just
converted,
stop.
all we're doing is starting fights. So I'm
shocked-
just not doing it anymore.
I'm shocked there's not just a political social media platform yet where you can just
Oh,
go to
go
vent all
fight?
your political. Yes,
yeah.
just have it out on this other platform.
Yeah.
Is that something you can market and
Yeah, that can
let's roll
get
this
that
out.
and be a part of that. All right, Stephen, we are up against it, so let's take a moment and kind of recap and remind us again. I know 2020 is the launch, and I'm so stoked to be a part of it. And anybody who doesn't know Stephen, that genius factor. I don't like throwing that name around and the title around, but this guy, absolutely a whole lot going on.
making me
Very
blush.
active. No, but but just I love talking with you, and we got to do lunch again sometime soon.
Yeah.
But I really dig hearing people that have their shit together and can think for themselves and think creatively very well on a lot of levels, both artistically, creatively, and obviously doing very advanced programming, which is logic.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really cool for me. And the folk tellers, if you guys haven't seen, there's a YouTube
There's a YouTube
trailer.
yeah, it's a
kind of
YouTube trailer.
thing.
Just go to
Yeah.
we basically the word folk tellers with an S, folk
Mm-hmm.
tellers. We have that locked down right across all the digital platforms.
Gives a really good feel, I think.
yeah. So
I
whether
think
it's
it does.
YouTube or whether it's Facebook or Twitter or
Yeah.
Instagram or whatever, we have folk tellers. But if you want to see the trailers and even what the kids have been saying, about reading the books, because we did
Yeah.
a whole
Yeah.
thing with Royal Oak Schools. And then we kind of had like a little Oscars for them where, they made their own trailer and stuff and then handed out an
cool. Oh,
Oscar.
very cool.
All of those clips are on YouTube as well to check out. So
Yeah.
really cool stuff. And as I said, thanks for having me. It's always great to talk to you guys
Yeah.
anyways. So.
For sure. No, awesome. And let's grab some sushi or some Thai food or something soon. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, Stephen Sadler, our own Lake Orion genius. All right. Stephen Sadler is out of the building. Michael Alexander is hopping in, and I'm going to give you a brief introduction to Michael Alexander. So we've known each other for a while now. We've worked together on quite a few film sets, and we talk about a lot of stuff, bounce stuff off of each other. Have I think some similar creative outlets that makes us get along really well. But Michael Alexander has a movie coming out, and I don't know. Last time we talked, we did not have an official release date. We have that is coming out early next year, right?
They said Q1 next year, so first quarter. Hopefully February will be domestic, and
Yeah.
then we're working on international, and 3 distributors are working with it. So you've been through this, Harley.
Yeah.
Once you sign
Yeah.
your movie over, I mean, they're very motivated up front.
Yeah.
Okay? I wish they were still as motivated after they get your film
Yeah.
as they are in the beginning. And so, I'm hounding them now. Okay?
Yeah.
Before they were hounding me.
Yep.
We want your film. And so I'm just waiting on a release date from Wild Eye.
Yeah.
Releasing. I don't know if,
Yep.
you're familiar with them.
Yep, very
They're
much.
doing the domestic, hopefully Redbox and a Walmart. And, there's a couple local theaters that I'm familiar with amongst, Imagine, but there's
Yeah.
another one too, Phoenix and Monroe, that's locally owned.
Yeah.
And they're willing to possibly play it there. Okay, so it could be a small theatrical. I don't know the time frame that they would be playing that.
Yeah.
And they did change the name, the original name. See, I'm from Monroe, and there's a lot of folk.
Yeah, let's talk about that. The original title for the film is
I was just gonna ask what's the title, and
Okay.
I change it.
The original.
You can pull up the there's 2 trailers now. Okay,
Okay.
The Legend of Dog Lady Island, will
which
be
is
the
a
one.
true legend.
There's some true stuff that happened on that island that's very coincidental, all dog related. And then actually, I went to the Museum of Monroe. We have a museum downtown, and the original name of the island is Fox Island. Okay, another dog related theme. And so there's a couple different tales. You want me to tell any of them? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
The original,
I want to hear.
the original Monroe.
It is pretty fascinating.
The original Monroe tales. There was a wealthy couple that lived on the island, and I think they had a school for girls. And the husband had left the wife, and she kind of lost her mind and got a bunch of dogs, and became feral and was chasing people off the island. Okay,
Wow.
This is what they say was the truth. This lady
Yeah.
went and lost it, just flipped. So kind of a dog-related tale. And then another one, the one I'm more familiar with is growing up as a kid, because we actually had the phone number we were given a phone number to call to prank.
Yeah.
And, as kids, you do stupid stuff.
Yes.
Today, I would not have done this.
We're not supposed to.
I
still
was
prank.
Bart Simpson when I was young.
Okay. Is your refrigerator running?
Right.
Okay, go catch it. Right. Yeah, we were all kids doing
Yeah.
these stupid prank calls. But as kids in Monroe, we had known of a lady called the Dog Lady, and everybody had her phone number. We didn't know the story, the history behind it. But you'd call, and she would growl at you over the phone, okay, and hang up on you. And there was the actual phone number. Story has it that the woman was raped by a local club motorcycle gang, and her tongue was cut off to not talk.
Oh,
And a coffin was placed on the island to remind her not to talk, or else,
wow.
So that's one of them. Now, since the lady has passed, and people have said they've had sightings, they've been out there and seen the image of a woman walking around the island and what have you, because a lot of kids, when we were younger, we would sneak out there when we was teenagers, and that was our little drinking spot.
Yeah.
Hanging out, do a bonfire, bring the girls out, scare them,
Yeah.
And everybody in Monroe. I mean, we got 5 different high schools in Monroe, and all of them did this stuff.
Yeah.
And but there's a lot of other stories, some pretty wild ones.
Well, you picked. It was interesting because I've had the pleasure of actually watching your film already, and I really like how it goes in these timepieces, and they kind of collide, and I think that's really, really cool. And I think it's something that's hard to do as an indie filmmaker because you have to have resources and access. Otherwise, if you don't have a house that looks like it's from that time, and if you don't have clothing that looks like from that time, it's good to be an artist though too, right?
Right. That to be creative, I had some help with Nancy.
Yeah.
Helped out too. She's very creative. Nancy Oswine, who you've also worked with. Locations, we got lucky to get these locations. You wouldn't believe
Amazing
it.
locations.
Amazing locations.
And cool choices too, coming off in color for some of those.
I was going to do black and white. And then when I seen these beautiful colors in the 1920s, the house.
But you still came down in your grading that made it feel
More of pastels
Yeah.
type, yeah.
Yeah.
The grading on it. But we were originally going to do black and white, but I seen all these beautiful colors. I said, wow, we got to put this. I mean, we're looking at the screens and I'm going, man, this has got to be in color. You've been there.
Yep.
So in the 1970s too, I mean, the house
Yeah.
was straight out of the Brady Bunch. There was still intercoms. I got so lucky
Yeah.
that this house actually belongs to one of my business partners on another business that I was involved with. And he never remodeled the house. It's got the intercoms. It's got the old everything.
Yeah.
Cupboards, 1970s, straight
Wow.
out of the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
So the 1970s era was easily believable.
Captured in there.
Mhm.
Yeah. So this is a film. You did the screenplay, directing, or what
I
were you
wrote
involved
it.
with on it?
And Harley knows how this too is. When you get in the zone, I wrote this film, and I hate to share this with people because I'm writing other scripts that have taken me a year. Okay, this one I wrote it in 5 days, 12,000 words, and just couldn't stop writing it.
Yep.
I would wake up at 3 a.m. Oh, I got another scene, and so I'd start typing in the scene, and my wife would wake up and go, what are you doing? I gotta get this scene out of my head right now. It's 3 a.m. And
Yep.
I even changed the screen to black, so it wasn't so bright. And
I don't say this anymore because people get pissed when they hear how sometimes when you're really inspired, you just knock out a script in a week, and people get mad.
You've done it in a day.
I
This
know.
guy. I mean, I'm not kidding. I'm 58 pages in and started writing that day. I'm going, what is going on with this guy? He's a
And I
genius.
try to go to bed, and my wife looks. She's like, "Stop tossing and turning, just go right," because she knows. And I'm like, "Yep, all right, see ya."
And when you have that itch, you have to go.
Oh,
back,
I
right? Like you
there's-
say, when you wake
I
up at 3
wouldn't,
funny
a.m.,
I
you have
wouldn't
to do
sleep
it.
anyways.
Because it was popping out of my head everywhere. I had to write it on my phone. So I wrote the whole thing on my phone.
Yep.
Oh.
And I did it in a program that I put on the phone for screenwriting
Yeah.
that I had a heck of a time changing it to a PDF, okay?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I had to copy paste the whole thing, all right, to turn it so I could print it. And I didn't realize, this is not the program I should have wrote this in.
Yeah.
So it was a nightmare getting it to actual printed script to hand out.
Right.
Well, you were
That
in
was-
Moving Parts, which was I call it my first film, but it really wasn't because I'd done a couple short films. I did Deceitful. We did that together.
Yeah.
But Moving Parts was written in text format, and I remember people looking at it going like, "What the hell is this?" Because I didn't have access, and I just figured like you can read, right?
I remember when we
Not
got
understanding.
the script.
Yeah.
And moving parts. Too.
Oh my God,
I love it.
you're so. I
love
still to this day love that movie. I
There's
watch
so much
it.
going on.
Yeah.
I do too. I'll every once in a while. Hey,
Yeah,
I'll just rent
turn it
that.
on. Yep.
Yeah, I'll watch moving parts.
It's a
And,
good story. I haven't heard anyone yet that said, "Oh yeah, I called that 15 minutes in." I haven't heard a single person say it.
No, not predictable. Very
No.
unpredictable.
Those are the
Yeah,
best.
yeah,
Twists and turns all the way through.
yep, yep. And I think when we made that, I think everybody just felt that it was going to be something special because everyone's performance so good. I think just
You and Jerry Hayes together directing on that film were bringing believable performances and making people go
Up their
above a
game.
level that they hadn't been before,
Yeah.
including myself. Okay,
Yeah.
so
I still think
I
you're
get it.
awesome in that film.
I get it. You guys,
Jerry is really good. I'll tell you this, and definitely not what we're doing here today, but anybody who's an actor that you're emerging and you're trying to figure yourself out, man, Jerry's a hell of an acting coach, and he can get you to a whole new level of truth. And if you're lucky enough to ever be in a film that he's directing, he's a kind of an acting coach on set.
yeah.
And sometimes for better, sometimes for worse.
Oh yeah, sometimes the scenes would take a little bit longer. Should have been an hour. Now it's 3 hours.
Right.
You know, but, hey, you gotta love them.
At the end of the day, what we put on screen, I was very, very happy with. I told you this that movie was shot on a Canon 70D, and we had Walbert boom on a Tascam, handheld Tascam, and this thing is trended still right now, a year and a half, 2 years after it's been released, still trended on Amazon several times, which is really cool for a film that's been out that long to still make noise.
I think there's something to be said when it comes to that equipment that I think you could push the equipment too far of not quite understanding and then lose focus of the passion and what the project is. To whereas if the passion's there, the story's there, and you understand your equipment properly, that any equipment, I think not any, but you can make your equipment work.
Well, Soderbergh is shooting on iPhones now.
Right, exactly.
That's what I was
what I
going to
mean.
say. There's people, and then I got a red hydrogen here. I'd love to try and play with something on this.
Yeah. I think the problem you're going to run into is storage.
Well,
It goes to the cloud.
Yeah.
I've got.
Yeah.
You can put the cards right in the
Yeah.
phone.
Yeah, no, that it is true. And I'll tell you this, I'll have a fantastic cinematographer over a fantastic camera every day of the week, without a doubt.
Yeah, the stuff, the technical aspects of a camera compared to the guy that runs it, hands down, give him, something not as good. He's still gonna get those screens and get that shot.
Yeah.
And in the end, it's story, which I'm going to tie in a little off course here. I first met Michael, and he doesn't know this yet, but I met him at the Transformers set. The first time I went and did as an extra, you were there on the first day for the last Transformers movie. I think it was you that was there on Mound Road at the GM plant. I believe they brought you in.
I got directed by Michael Bay.
By Michael
in a
Bay,
scene.
yes.
Benny, he's not for us doing extra stuff, but as a featured extra, as a Russian contractor, beating down they wouldn't tell us either it was Decepticon or a Transformer.
No.
We weren't given that information, but there's 3 of us. One guy they flew from LA that could speak Russian, and us with Russian accents.
Yeah.
Okay, and they had us go in this bunker, big Russian bunker, and this is a deleted scene. Obviously, they never put it.
It wasn't.
I don't think
Watch
Both
it,
me and Michael have good stories on Batman vs Superman too. We had way more screen time that's in a can somewhere or on the floor somewhere.
right. You never know. The director might say, "Hey, let's throw that." No, I doubt it, but I
Yeah.
wish. But yeah, we had it was kind of cool. Michael Bay telling me, "No. I want the light coming through on your eye here, and then I want you, and I'm like, this guy, he's yelling at everybody,
Yeah.
but that's just his way."
I was, and the amount, him just grabbing the camera, and he was moving through everybody, doing the camera work as well throughout the day. It was interesting. It was a long day, but I just remembered because it was my first time on like a big, it was my first time actually getting back into all this. So, hey, I'm gonna start getting some extra stuff. And you guys were a little more familiar with it. You're like, no, come eat over here. Like, we can go eat breakfast. And I had no clue where I was at.
Oh, yeah.
So it was nice you helped me out there. But
they had to craft, over here.
Yeah.
You gotta, we're going to be here a while.
Yeah. No,
But we've been on them big sets, and
Oh, yeah.
the main reason back in the beginning, and I think you were the same way,
Mm-hmm.
that we went ahead and did that is to learn
Oh, you got to see how it runs.
how are they doing this in the
Yeah.
big picture? How are they doing this in Hollywood? How and to see how they're making a movie,
Mm-hmm.
it teaches you a lot.
Yeah, it
Okay,
does.
and it teaches you a lot of etiquette on set too.
Yeah.
That you're not going to get unless you go be an extra in somebody's film.
Yeah.
Quiet on set means a lot.
Yes,
Don't
it
even
does.
wrinkle a bag of chips, man.
Yeah.
Okay, you're
Right.
gonna get yelled at. But we've been through, hey,
Yeah, right.
they're still making noise over here.
I want to go back to Dog Lady Island here, and talk about. So it was Dog Lady Island,
Yeah. Okay. So the legend.
and it
of
had
Dog
a
La-
really cool poster.
the legend of Dog Lady Island. Yep.
Yep.
I originally I'm an artist too, so I airbrushed. I wanted to airbrush.
I
my
loved
own-
it.
I wanted to airbrush like an '80s type feeling poster. The airbrush,
Which is really
poster.
in right now.
Yeah.
And so I did that, and I did this image of her in the sky with the tree that's in the form of a woman reaching up into the sky, and then an island with a
It's
little bit
awesome.
of blood. They changed it all. Distributors do what they want. They got this sexy wolf lady ripping a tank top, and it's called She Bites, and then underneath this is on Dog Lady Island, payback's a bitch. You get it?
Oh, because of the dog.
Yes.
So
So
at this point, I'm agreeing to all this. You made the film. You got a distributor. At that point, they're free to come in and
Not really, but at the end of the day, if you argue with your distributor, it's probably not going to make for the best relation. And
Right.
and in all honesty, we have to take a back seat and say this is what they do, and they don't get paid unless they sell. So to stand in their way when they know all the algorithms and everything that's,
yeah.
I still to this, we released Abstruse November 1st, and thank God it's doing really well. But this is a film that won 25 Best Feature awards. Like, this film cleaned up to the only festivals that turned this thing down were pretty much Oscar qualifying festivals. I mean, it cleaned up to that degree. That's absurd, all across the globe. And they, not only did they change the title to a word that you have to go to the dictionary for, but it was called Into a Dark Mind, which makes so much sense
love
when
that
you see
title.
I think it's a great title. And then they changed the whole look. So instead of Into a Dark Mind, talking about the serial killer getting his first taste of a kill and then the death spiral of
Right.
that, that was the original focus. The focus that they wanted was on Sizemore and the revenge, which I get because the Taken movies have done really. So I get it. So I say yes to everything. And when we had to do a new trailer, it had to be like a minute. Just punch him in the face for 1 minute as hard as you can.
Yeah.
So that when they leave, they go, "Wow, I got to see this." And I get it, but at the same time, it changes the identity a little bit. And for somebody watching the film, if you're expecting something that isn't necessarily, I remember when we released Betrayed, I had a couple of really negative things on IMDb where somebody was like, I expected this to have more action, and it's like, this is a thriller. It's not like an action film, but the cover has like a helicopter in the
poster, yeah,
background,
the
and
picture, yes.
so I get that can be misleading if you really expect something
yeah.
particular out of it.
I noticed that with the trailer change too. The distributor did a new trailer, and I swear I like, just like you. I liked my trailer, but it was too long.
Yeah.
I liked the music that we picked to put in there at what points and this and that, and they changed it. And I kind of with my trailer showed the eras a little bit more.
Yeah.
Okay. And more.
Which I think is smart because that's it's not easy to do as a filmmaker. So I think it's a
In
cool
their
touch.
trailer, they did a more fast paced, choppy action, like
Yep.
And I'm like, man, they're making this look like it's an action movie, action horror.
Yeah.
When really it's a thriller.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And
I don't want anybody disappointed by watching it, trailer. But hey, they're doing what they do. Like
Yeah.
he said, they know
You have
what
to
they're
trust what
doing.
they-
Yeah,
And,
you do.
That's what he said. Mike, we know what works internationally.
Yeah.
The Legend of Dog Lady Island is not going to work internationally. We need a shorter,
Yeah.
catchier poster with a quick title,
Yep.
And so I have to have confidence in them, and I guess we'll see
We'll find out. Yeah.
next year.
Quarter one.
early.
Yeah.
Q1.
Well, it's
Q1.
really interesting too how the distributors work, because we were just talking about that. Your film wrapped and signed probably a year ago.
Yeah, and it takes it takes so long for them to get it.
I signed Enigma, which used to be taken over almost 2 years ago. That was signed a long time ago, and then Abstruse, which used to be Into a Dark Mind, I signed about a year and a half ago. And they're coming. They came out on November 1st,
Right.
and the film that came out before that was shot a year and a half after those films. It's just wild.
I guess it's whatever they're motivated.
I also think
On-
if they know that you're a filmmaker and you're making a bunch of movies, it's probably smart to slip those movies in after you've had some limited theatrical and some big sales and been,
Well, especially I
Some
think,
bigger names too,
yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
in your production,
yeah,
obviously.
I think you see that with a lot of the films, depending on like when you have the names attached. Like you get the Hansel and Gretel movie after Jeremy Renner comes out with Avengers, like
Yeah.
and that movie then gets thrown out immediately after
Yeah.
to piggyback that. So
Yep.
I think they do want to kind of piggyback or hold some back in case something does happen and say,
Yeah.
let's release it now and hit it at the right time. Like you said, they know what they're doing.
they well, at least let's hope they do. And I also want to touch on this. You were just down in Tennessee.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear more about that.
I don't know how much I'm allowed to say because you've done it too.
Yeah.
It's going to be on Oxygen Channel. I'm in an episode of one of the reenactment type shows, detective, about an actual case. And I'll tell you, this one kind of threw me for a loop. I never expected it to end up being who it was.
Oh,
when we
that's
started.
cool.
So it's very cool. And I had heard they had actually back in the early 80 had it made a movie about it or whatever on one of the
Oh wow.
So there's actually a movie somewhere out about it, this particular murder,
And you played the lead detective on the case.
yeah.
So this will be the
Well,
reenactment scenes?
there's three of us.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
yeah.
would hate to say lead.
Okay.
Because, I interrogate, they interrogate. We're all in the office together. But yeah, there's three
It's the
of
main
us.
character though.
Yeah, it's the main character. There's three of us, three detectives.
Yeah.
Trying to get to the bottom of this murder that took place.
So you didn't know the true story? You didn't know what the true story was before getting there? Did they just kind of...
No, they sent me. You sign an NDA and you read
Yeah.
the script. Okay.
Yep.
They gave me the script, and they give you your lines. Which a lot of times with these shows, I mean, you memorize lines, but they do voiceover
Right.
and
Yeah.
stuff. And
So you don't know how much is going to make it. Yeah.
You don't even know how much.
Or they'll
If I'm
talk to you.
interrogating a guy,
Yeah.
they might not even be
on your
using-
audio.
Yeah, it's not on my audio.
It
They
might be the
voiceover.
detective talking.
Right. That's
Yep.
the actual...
Yeah, so I'm the actor portraying this guy, and they pick people that look a little bit like
Yeah.
the
so-
original detective or the original killer,
Mhm.
and so I'm trying
You
to grow
had
this
a-
back. Now,
yeah.
I had this Tom
I
Selleck.
like the mustache on you. Actually, gotta say,
Oh, man, I had the Tom Selleck mustache going on, and he said, "Mike, you look a little like Dean Cain." I wish.
I really
I
think that
wish.
had a little bit of that.
So
I
I
liked it.
I get down there, and these guys go, "You look like Dick Butkus." And I go, "What?" I pull up my phone and some older pictures of Dick Butkus with his mustache.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
go, "No
I
kidding."
guess.
So if they ever do a movie, and they need Dick,
Yeah.
hey, I'm right here, all right?
Yeah.
So did you meet the actual person you were portraying? Or did you
No.
get? Is that? I was curious if
No.
they
No,
ever
that's
had those people meet.
Same thing on my show.
No.
That's shot somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just didn't know
Yeah.
if they wanted you kind of
So it's cool. But they do a lot of these shows now on ID Channel,
Yeah.
Oxygen,
Yeah.
and you see a lot of them. There's so many. But this is a pretty popular one. And, I didn't know how popular.
Same thing with me.
I had never watched any of them.
I'm the same way. I was on Homicide Hunter, and I said something, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, I watch that all the time." And then I find out that they have regularly 4 million viewers on their reruns. I mean, it's
well, they run so much and they run them.
Oh yeah,
and they're
it's
addicting.
unbelievable.
Once you start it.
It's funny. I was at the Waffle House, and they were dead because they don't usually get any snow down there. The snow followed me down. Okay, and I'm in there. It's dead, and these women, they're like saying the name of the actual show I'm on. They're like, I watched, and they're saying the name all the time. Is that the show? And I'm like, I can't tell you that. What if the director comes in here and eats after me, and then I'm telling you guys, and they'll be like, hey, one of your...
Yeah,
so,
definitely can't really uncork that.
got to be confidential.
I was told that I was allowed to say what show I was on, but I was not allowed to talk about the episode. So that was the thing. I can say I'm on the Homicide Hunters and I play one of the detectives, but I don't know if you're in the same situation. So
I think so. It's the same entertainment company.
Yeah, it's Jupiter. Yeah.
Okay. So
I gotta say they do a really good job for as quick as they move. They have a well-oiled machine for sure.
All right. So I guess I'll say I'm going to be on an episode of Snapped, which I had never heard of that show. Okay.
I haven't either.
And I'm in Waffle, and they're like, I watch Snapped all the time. Are you going to be on Snapped? And I'm like, I can't tell you that. So, and I guess they are very popular.
Yeah. People love these reenactment shows, man.
That is an Access Harleywood exclusive right there.
There we go again. We had that on.
We just broke it
with Jennifer on her sequel. We're magical for that.
All right. Well, hopefully Jupiter Entertainment is not watching, and I'm not in trouble. But
Amber's on my Facebook. She'll be watching.
Oh, great.
We want them. So where can people go to find out more information to follow some more of your upcoming stuff? Facebook?
I'm on Facebook, Michael James Alexander, and then Instagram, Alexander Michael J. And I haven't set up. I should have set up a page a long time ago. You got a page, and everybody says set up a page, but I just hate having more stuff to go to.
I got to tell you this right now.
Website.
They actually told me don't worry about the websites. They've said, but do a Facebook page and get a following. That's what they've said.
Okay.
So we're doing
IMDb,
that now.
Yes. Like you go to Harley's IMDb, and I changed mine used to be Michael Alexander, and there's been a lot of Michael Alexanders through the ages that were actors. So I was like number 30 something. Okay.
Right.
So I put my middle name in there, Michael James Alexander. So all you got to do, Michael James Alexander, IMDb, and it pulls me right up. And you can see everything I'm involved in. See a lot of Harley stuff I've been in.
Yeah.
A few of his. And
more to come.
You guys know each other.
Yes.
We kind of started out together. I swear.
Yeah.
Me and him were in a music video.
Remember
that?
Yeah.
On the ground.
For, actually, it's still pretty good music video.
It's an artist out of Canada, Mike J. Rightway or whatever. Mike. And me and Harley have a meeting, and we're making some bets on a fight, and it doesn't go my way, and I'm upset, and I'm leaving, and I think he gets killed in the parking lot or something. Yeah. So
yeah,
what are you gonna do?
I thought that it was a lot of fun working with Mike back then. He had some crazy ideas.
He is so everywhere all at once.
Yeah.
And it's hard to keep up with him. But he got a whole video done, and I mean, they had the ring set up, they had the actual fights that night, so we got lucky with that, and it turned out okay. I mean, and we went to the premiere. Me and you went to the premiere in Canada. They had a premiere for the video.
Yeah.
And what I say? They did a little questionnaire. Anything different that you want in the video? And back then, I was kind of cocky. I said, I want more of me in that video.
Of course, right?
And he started laughing.
Funny.
But, I'm just a small part. It's Mike J. Rightway's video. It's about him. It's his music. So, but we started way back then. I don't know if we were in something before that even.
I don't know. The only thing I remember
I Declare
for
War,
sure.
too,
I Declare War. We spent a lot of time on. That's on Amazon now. Dennis Reed is just spitting these movies out now. I hear he wants to reshoot Indictment. So we may be working together again soon enough with him. And the films right now that he's doing, I mean, I've seen the First Lady films. They're significantly a step up from where he used to be on a lot of ways.
I'll tell you what a step up is too. It's his poster.
Oh
for that
yeah,
movie, too. You
oh
know?
yeah,
On
very
First
good
Lady.
poster.
Yeah.
It's Hollywood all the way. It's
Yeah.
beautiful,
And Hoops is in it.
looks great. You know,
She does.
We share the
She's
same
a better
last name.
She's a better actor than I thought she would be too. Like in all honesty, watching it, it made me even go, you know what? This might not be a bad person to bring on board.
No, me and
'cause
her
she has
are
a nice following.
We are cast together. Me and her in a movie that's going to start filming next year, and I can tell you maybe a little bit about it. I won't tell you. I run a sex trafficking thing with my sons, and she, as a teenager, was ran through, our, whatever you want to call it, stable of girls. Okay, and she comes back for revenge. Okay, so it's one of those revenge stories.
Yeah.
That
That's
she comes
become
back
really
after me.
in now. The whole "I spit
So-
on your grave"
It's
style.
something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Only more mafia, more
Yeah.
Russian mob, more.
Yeah, because they
looking
can't
like
do the
that.
same thing. So they,
And
yeah.
So we are cast together next year. They're supposed to start filming February, I think, is what I was
Mm-hmm.
last told a week ago. And we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
You know.
Is that being
You never
filmed
know.
Yeah,
here in
sounds
Michigan?
fun.
Yeah, it's a Michigan production.
Nice.
So hopefully we can knock it out quick. I got a couple other things locally I'm finishing up too. But we got some stuff coming up next year.
Yeah.
It's bigger. One of the bigger, things that I've done probably.
Mhm.
And I know Harley's working on some bigger things too.
Mhm.
So I think 2020 is going to be big.
I think so too. Yeah, and I think the whole thing too for you is to get that one movie out, because I think the legitimacy factor changes pretty drastically after you get a film out in the market and it actually starts moving. I was just saying that with right now, because some of the outlets email me directly, even though I have a distributor clearly listed to my films. But Abstruse has had a lot of people reaching out from all over the place. So that's another feather in the cap and another film that's making noise.
I've had this happen. I've had other filmmakers
Mm-hmm.
message me asking how the distributors I have are working out for me.
Yep.
And I'm not
I
going
wish
to
distributors understood how much we talk and why you may or may not be getting films.
Right.
This is not a big community, in all honesty.
I had nothing negative to say except for it's a little slower process than what I thought it would be. But now finding out, it's my first feature, and sometimes they're a little bit slower or not as motivated
Yeah.
as they should be. But let me get a couple under. You got 6 out right now. Is that correct?
6 out and 3 more completed or almost completed.
Okay, man,
Crazy.
I got a lot of catching up.
Yeah, we have
What are you
Agrimon's
sleeping
Gate.
for?
Agrimon's
I know I'm
Gate,
slipping.
limited theatrical, February 11th. Then Bennett's Song Holiday. We don't have a release date for that one yet because we're probably, in all honesty, the film is excellent. And I said, you know what? Let's test the waters with this. Let's see, let's give a wild shot at Berlinale and Cleveland, 2 Oscar qualifying festivals, and see what happens. Because this is, we have 7 deaf actors in this. It's incredibly diverse. It has an amazing plot and subplot that's both fun and engaging and genuine. So I'm like, let's give that a go and see where it takes us. And then after that is Ash and Bone, which my editor cannot stop teasing me with how incredible this looks, and he is so silly with this that I don't get to see anything edited until he has a rough draft.
Nice.
Okay.
You're just getting the screenshots.
Yeah, because
Yes.
hey, we can be controlling a little bit, huh?
Oh, absolutely. We're
Don't
yeah.
show it to me now, or I'm gonna hold on. What happened to this shot? What happened to that?
Yeah.
Slow down, killer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you can take right over real quick. You
Well,
remember
if
all
you-
those
If you're a
shots.
director, you should be, and that's the thing. I hear about. Somebody said that they had a screening and that it was the first time the director had watched the finished film, and I'm like, what? I'm like, you got to be directing your editor. How are you not? How are you seeing it for the first time too?
That could go
I've
bad.
seen the film 100 times before it hits the
Yeah,
screen.
yeah. That did happen with one of the directors at the red carpet premiere, and it didn't turn out too good.
Yeah, I heard.
And,
I've heard a
he
couple
blamed
of
it
times,
on, of course, the editor.
and the editor
But
blamed
to
it on
me,
him.
you should have been sitting side by side with him and
Yeah.
watch the final product, watch the rough cut, and then guide a little bit. Give
Not
them
a
some
little
direction.
bit. You are directing your just
Directing
you
your
direct.
editor.
You're directing.
You have
You're
a
still
you
always
have you have a cinematographer that you direct. You have actors that you direct. I mean that's what it is. You are the in control of that red herring.
The
of
directing
the
doesn't
story.
stop.
It doesn't end until the film is done,
You
and
know
then
that.
you become a producer.
It took me God, I was sitting with Vic for
Yeah.
4 months every other day directing him on it, the editing, because I remember the shots that I wanted at what point in the film. And I know Harley's a lot like this too. It's like painting a picture. You know what in your head this is supposed to look like. And same with the music.
I'm still open to it being different, and every now and then I have been swayed and went, "Yep, no, you know what?
That looks
You're
good.
right."
Same with the music though, the score.
Yeah.
You know that we
Yeah.
work with this guy. We'd Skype.
Yeah.
You Skype with the score guy, and hey,
Sit for hours and
you know,
hours and hours and
you
hours,
don't
spot the
want-
whole film.
because they sometimes will put music in that's maybe giving you a hint, preempt you that something bad's gonna, and you don't want that. You want it to be a surprise when it's shown, and so there's different things
Right.
that's gonna happen in a film
Yeah.
that's gonna make it either you're gonna get the scare or you're not. You're gonna let them know it's coming, and
Yeah.
the anxiety build.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you
all
going
this
for
is-
suspense or a scare?
Right.
Right.
You know, there's a big
right.
difference.
So there's a lot of directing on the music too.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. So the new title, She Bites,
She Bites.
should be out first quarter next year, and we'll make sure that we do a follow up of some sort when we have a date, so that we can come in and talk about it again. It is a good movie for a lot of reasons, but the whole timepiece stuff I really dig. That we get to see 3 different generations in the film and experience the curse alongside of them, which is cool.
I'm excited
All
to
right.
see it.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's good stuff. So I think I was told that if we do go over, then feel free to go over a little bit more. So we have about 5 minutes left. So we had talked about this earlier, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. So Stephen Sadler was here, and he works very closely with Matt Zappa, which is Frank Zappa's son, and they have a hologram of Frank touring the world right now, and I think that's cool and okay because I think that's what he was doing, and I understand the whole concept. But I also know now that they're bringing back dead actors to the screen
Well,
in films that they've never agreed to be in, doing scenes, saying things, and doing things they never actually agreed to do. Where do you stand on that? What do you think?
It's a scary world we're living in now, okay? Because if you see me on TV saying something I normally wouldn't say, it's probably an image like, it's a scary thing. They could do this with politicians. They could do this with the president. They could do this with who
You
knows?
saw the video
So
with Obama when it was, I think it was Keenan and Peele, and it was like, that looks just like him.
going to have to be a new organization that's going to restrict and watch what's being done with that. And then what are we going to do? Are we going to get rid of actors and not hire actors? And it's all going to be CGI or tech guys that are.
Just saying.
That used to be. I remember when I said, "Well, that's not going to happen because whatever." And then I saw the first really high end CGI Planet of the
Princess-
Apes, and I was like, "Oh,
Well, Princess Leia too.
yeah." Princess Leia, though, to me was a little shaky.
Little I mean, and then they
But
had
Tarkin,
the other guy.
Tarkin was fully interactive.
Yeah.
I was impressed. And then the new Will Smith.
Yeah.
The younger
Oh, yeah.
Will Smith versus.
Oh,
But he
wow.
agreed to
Gemini.
doing that.
Gemini,
that
yeah.
that makes. I'm fine with that. I mean, they did that with What was it called when
they
Jean-Claude
got
Van Damme
Irishman.
played against himself?
Oh, I thought
They
that
were
was
like
more of a
twin
mirroring.
things. Yeah, but there's still two of him.
Yeah. But
True. The people that have passed away, I guess there would have to be somebody involved from the family that is going to give them some sort of permission or guidance
Yeah.
on what that person, like a Marilyn Monroe or James
Yeah.
Dean,
James Dean is coming back in a
Right.
film.
I know. And it's, I think that somebody needs to be involved just to protect him and his image, okay, from what he's always
His
been.
estate has control, but
James Dean has always been known as, the bad boy,
Yeah.
and, and the good-looking guy, and he, you don't know what they would put him in and portray him as that could
be
affect
very
him.
against what he actually stood for
Absolutely.
as a
He turned in
human.
his grave.
Yeah.
So
That's
there's
what we
gotta-
were talking about.
There's got to be some kind of controls over this, or somebody very personal, close, that cares about the image, okay, of that person who's passed away. Now, musician, for entertainment purposes, I mean, they've done it with Michael Jackson, Tupac.
Yeah.
Um,
And they're doing what they
know,
always did. I
they're singing
have
the
less
same
of an
songs,
issue.
They're dancing
Yep.
the same way, and it's
Oh, they're not stopping and talking politics or doing so they're doing what they always did. It's a little less of a concern to me.
everything has become so political now with the real stars, movie star and music to begin with. And I feel like the world can see the same, like these testimonies, and they both see it total opposite narrative. And it's the same. It's a person saying, what it is. And
Everybody
so
said not
they're,
everybody.
They're in their head. They already know what they want to come out of it. They're already, so
Everybody's already decided. That's what we were talking. We were talking about this earlier when you post a post on Facebook.
You
It's
see, I don't post
any,
anything-
and nobody's changed anyone's mind
No,
ever.
I don't post anything political. I got my beliefs, but I'm not trying to change anybody on Facebook, and I know it's never going to happen.
Yeah.
And I'm not pushing an agenda of any type. But all this division
Comes from
is
agenda.
not healthy.
No.
It's not healthy for
Not
this
at all.
country. And
Yeah,
It's-
and here's the bottom line. Nobody's trying to. One side is not less American or more American than the other. It's just people, because of who they are, believe in a different way to get to the other side. That's it.
I actually like the recent not speech, but the saying Obama just said, where he's like, "Do you think posting on Facebook is woke? Like, do you that's not being politically active? That is
No.
not trying to better
No.
No.
And that's where I was saying earlier, you're not going to change the world one Facebook at a time. Get
No.
active.
I
think
never-
it's healthy to be active.
I never thought we would be in this position at my age, because like in the 80s, I'm not kidding, we all got along.
Yeah,
Everybody got along. I mean, if
and
you
we
listen,
were liberal and
if you listen to
and
rock
whatever
music,
back
if
then.
you listen to rap music, if you listen to, you watched this, or you were a Democrat, or you were a Republican, or
You know, the problem is, though, in America, you
Don't
have
even
two
matter.
parties. Coming from Sweden, we have 9 active parties in government. That helps a little bit because you don't have to be so divided. You can pick
You can
a
be
party
centrist.
somewhere that's somewhere in the middle or somewhere
Yeah.
to the left or right on some things. And we were just saying this earlier. I'm pretty conservative in some ways and pretty liberal in some ways. There's no party for me because there's nobody that thinks like that, because I actually think there's a lot of people who truly are like that. that are both.
Libertarian, but there's some stuff on the libertarian too. So, yeah, I get what you're saying. Okay?
It's just tricky because there's
I am very conservative on a lot of stuff. Okay, a lot of stuff, but there is some progressive, liberal ideology that I think could work. Okay.
yeah.
So you're correct. There's but right now, either you're way over here or you're way over here.
Yeah.
And there's no.
The loud voices come from here and here. I don't believe we're here. I believe we're here. But these loud mouths here are distract the
Oh
game.
yeah, I think America's a lot smarter. Okay?
Yes.
And they're in the middle, and they're seeing what's going on, and it's just so divisive and divided, and either you're this way or that way, or you're
It's
You're called names. How's
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
I don't want to bring
Yeah.
up the names.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just can we all get back to just having difference of opinions and moving on? It's not a
That
bad
that
thing
needs to
have-
be okay.
It's
You
okay if
can't-
you
to
like
be
a movie
hon-
and I don't.
you can't
We
have
can
con-
go hang out and watch a different movie. But
Absolutely.
I don't understand why
And-
politicals get
and
that.
most of the time, the really good stuff comes from the dialogue of two different opinions.
Yes.
A ton of the time, you actually come up with a solution because you see each other's point, and then you morph that into a new idea that actually is probably way more capable than either of the two we started with.
Right.
That's
a
people that are
compromise.
having an actual conversation.
Yeah,
Okay,
and a
instead
little bit of that
attack.
frontal lobe activated and doing something called critical thinking, which I think is just
Yeah.
gone. But
I-
yeah, let's end this on an up note.
Yeah, I wanted to make a quick point going back
Yeah.
to the changing of the actors of
Oh,
having
yeah.
like James
Yeah,
Dean. A concern, my main concern that I have with dealing with like James Dean coming back is think of the performances that we would miss out on had that technology been around before, as far as like Joaquin Phoenix being able to play Johnny Cash instead of them just doing a computer version of Johnny Cash.
This is
There's
true.
so
So
many
true.
great
Could the
performances.
actor, of course, pull it
They
off?
bring back the Joker, he'd get screwed again.
Yes, but I mean, you have these true stories that
Oh,
were
yeah.
told, and these actors gave such great performances.
Yeah.
I hate to see that
Yeah.
not be the go-to anymore.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think my mom used to say, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yeah,
And
And
that
Jeff
is
Goldblum
very
said
true.
that.
Yes.
You're so caught up in whether you could, you don't think whether or not you should.
Yep. All right. Anything else? Anything we forgot to touch on today? I think we had a heck of a show, and we went way over today. But I think we have so much to talk about.
And I was
Yeah.
late. I'll take some of the.
Well, that means
Did
we
you get
didn't have
hit in
the
that
intro.
traffic? It took me 2.5 hours to
Yes,
get
it
here today.
took me over 2 hours.
Oh, yeah,
Just
yeah.
A little bit of rain, and everyone forgets how to drive. So.
Yeah,
it's
in
act-
Michigan.
You know what? It was
Look at
worth
your
it,
text.
though.
That's what I said. People don't know how to drive in the rain, I guess.
Yeah.
But
And,
it was
and we're
worth
in
it.
Michigan where we get
Quality.
snow, real snowstorms. I don't understand how that goes. But all right, let's call it.
No, I appreciate it. It was nice meeting
All right.
you.
Well,
And,
again.
I met you, but now I'm more official.
All right. All right.
But if
And
always,
thank you, Harley. I appreciate
Oh,
the
hell
invite
yeah.
to be on the show.
Yeah,
And,
no, awesome. Very, very happy to have you. I think it's cool for people to see how much we have going on here in Michigan and how many people. Because I get that thing in LA now. My distributors, they're calling me the king of Michigan, and I'm like, do you understand that I was at AFM and ran into 5 filmmakers from my little hood right down there, and they're all creating content, and I want people to know this is definitely not a one-man pony show. There's a lot of stuff going on here, a lot of good stuff that's getting out, and we have great filmmakers. We have really good actors. We have tons of talent here.
and I'm willing to bet that the 5 of you knew each other and all get along and want to work together
Yes.
and create something which is probably different from filmmakers from other
LA.
places. I will. Yes.
Oh yeah, and the funny thing is, LA didn't used to be like that. They used to all help each other, and when the director was sick, Coppola would go in and work for.
Right.
I mean, it used to be completely different, and you'd think they were rivals. And it's funny because Sam Logan and he was like, I was there with Tanya and him, and we were sitting around talking. He's like, everybody thinks we're like the world's biggest enemies, and we're here having a beer, having a good time. And when somebody calls us up and says, "What do you think about this distributor?" We all shoot the shit, and when we all look out for each other.
Right.
Right.
And it doesn't mean that we're best friends or that we love all the ways that everybody does things, but I think we're smart enough to look beyond these small details of people's ways. Did you go see Devil's Night?
No, and me and you touched base
Yeah.
about it,
Yeah.
and you filled me in on the premiere in
Yeah.
At the AFM.
Yeah.
Sunday night, I'll be honest, I would just want to chill, and I've had so much going on.
Yeah,
through the
you've been
weeks, you know.
busy.
So I just needed a break, and that was it.
Yeah.
I thought about it. I was like,
Yeah.
man, and we know everybody there, all
Yeah.
the people on the red carpet and everything, the actors to to Sam.
Yeah.
And he does have a different way of filming. You know,
Yeah.
everybody's got their own style, and I am interested to see how it turned out. Great DP on that one.
Yeah, his
Ish.
son is very, very
Ish
talented.
Matt
yeah.
Cisco's another
Fabulous.
one, great sound guy. He's got some great. He had a great team together.
Yeah,
on
he did.
that film for a crew. One of the better ones in Michigan, I
Yeah.
think. You know, I can say that,
Mm-hmm.
and I would love to use any of them. You know, for next film.
Yeah.
So
No, very, very cool. Well, let's call it a day. Here's Access Harleywood. Rob Holland is here. Michael J. Alexander's here, and we just had Stephen Sadler earlier talking about his. Isn't that cool? The stuff he's
It's
working
wild.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to hook up with him.
Yeah, right.
I watched part of it outside on the. He had it on the screen.
Yeah.
You
No,
know, the
Stephen
manager.
is developing a software thing. I don't even know what to call it, but something that essentially enables you to create movement with product. And he's done this for Disney and DreamWorks and all kinds of things. So he definitely knows what he's doing. So and he has that genius factor when it comes to I think of that Matrix screen when I see him, because it's just that's the kind of guy
His
he is.
techness is over my head.
Oh,
okay?
yeah. Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I'm not there. All right.
Oh, me neither. But that's
the
why
kinda
I'm
guy
so
gonna hire.
That's
for
why
that
I'm
kind of
so
stuff.
fascinated,
Right.
and I'm lucky enough that Painted Creek is going to be a beta launch, so we are going to be
fantastic.
on
Yeah.
the front line of this thing and see how it moves when it comes to
impressive.
connecting with influencers and getting your product out and in front of more eyes. So that's going to be a lot of cool things to see. But yeah, I had a fantastic show. It's hard to end it, but we are an
Yeah.
hour 21 into it, so
Fantastic.
It's all right.
let's
Awesome.
call it a day.
Short length episode.
Right. All right. Have a good one. Good night.